Simon. I have known Brother Sean Daniels for almost.
Coming on after this guy here.
He was with us and spoke at the middle of our pro-America rally throughout the state. I want to support him in his family and love of country and love of God growth. I'm board certified in internal medicine and allergy. So if you have sinus congestion or chest congestion or drainage or headache, give me a call at 895-5088. That's 895-5088.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right. Welcome back to another show of the Man Up Radio. Welcome, everyone. We got this Saturday morning show. I believe we dive right into it as usual. We got our host along with us. I believe we have Mr. Daniels, Michonne's dad. We have Miss Vanessa, as well as my father, Mr. JT, the show tapper. Everyone on board today?
Yeah. Good morning, Peter.
All right. Good morning. Just want to jump right in like we normally do, guys. This show today, we are the title of today's show is "Who's Your Daddy?" We titled today's show really focusing around the man up principle of the father. And ultimately, we want to kind of touch on particular topics as it pertains to raising a man in today's world. And we're also going to talk about the COVID and what's going on with that. We're going to have Miss Vanessa's grapevine just the same. So you guys strap up, tune in, and enjoy today's show. If you haven't already checked us out on Facebook Live at the Man Up Radio, you can hashtag Man Up Radio, MUR, and you will find us on Facebook. Again, that's hashtag Man Up Radio, MUR, and you will find us on Facebook as well. So, as we delve in today's topics, one of the things that I guess one of the statements we made was that being a father, it doesn't mean a DNA attachment. You don't have to be the biological father in order to be a father. Anybody want to elaborate on that? Mr. Tapper there, Tapper Senior. You want to jump in on that real quick?
Well, sure. I think you hit the nail on the head that being a father is not being an exit. That's an office that's held by somebody, and we look at it as, I think society looks at it as biology. That position is held by somebody in the household. And I think sometimes we say stepfather if it's not the biological father. But father is a position in the household that brings authority into the household and exercises authority in that position. It also has to be supported by the wife as well. The wife can undercut that authority and undermine it, or she can support it and build upon it, and it adds to strength of the household. But it is critical in today's society, in any society throughout history. It's a critical importance of this.
That's interesting that you say that, because again, it always brings me back to being a kid, and I know that some of your struggles at times were when, in fact, mom would, in a sense, I think, baby is what I would call it. Some of the kids, I'm the oldest of four boys, and mom would kind of baby some of the kids in a, maybe give a decision outside of the decision that you already gave in a particular issue or subject. So I definitely see what you're saying when you when you're talking about that, because I know that was a struggle of yours.
Right.
Mr. Daniels.
Yeah, it's got to be congruency.
Mr. Daniels, are you still there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Tell me a little bit about thoughts that you have as it pertains to what we're talking about right now. Raising a man up, being a father. From my understanding, you would be a prime example because, am I right? Are you Michonne's biological father?
No.
Okay. So, from what Michonne has told me, man, you came in and you really, you've been the father to him. And I think that it's important, you have a definite perspective as it pertains to coming in a situation like that and taking over as a father. So what say you on that? Was there a struggle in the beginnings with that? Or did you, was there compliance right away from the whole household as it pertains to that?
Well, I believe the compliance was very initially, but my feelings are that I was lost to something. I was lost to the true meaning of what love is. And I brought into reality the fact of I was just miseducated. And as a result, it showed in the weaknesses that I had in that relationship also showed. With love comes responsibility. And I had to buy into the reality of what those responsibilities were that I was really lying in. And then I began to realize that my problem was the fact that I really never learned how to love myself. And I took that into relationships with me. The thing of being kind and patient and good and gentle and faithful, being that I wasn't, the self-control factor was also a problem. And what I was searching for in order to be the type of man that I should have been, I was really searching for joy and peace. But if I wasn't in key with loving myself, I couldn't show it to anyone else. So I had to really find out the true essence and meaning of love within myself. Because being brought up from a human perspective and learning the things that we learned and put those things into our existence really creates problems within self, which also will create problems within households.
It's interesting how you speak on that because, I've come to believe and maybe even realize that society's depiction of a man, growing up, I mean, it was all, bricks. If you took a brick and you put an equal sign and then you put a picture of a man, then that was always society's depiction of a man. We're hard, we don't cry, we don't show emotion, none of that. And I think we're in a day and time where people are learning more about different things like emotional intelligence and how just in general emotions play a part in a man being a real man, because I think it takes a real man, to actually stand up and speak in the manner in which you spoke and talk about where they lacked just the same. And it's just interesting because you don't typically, in society, that is something where we talk about a man being soft or whatever when we talk about emotions. And I think that's where you get a lot of these young guys that are growing up and they don't have a father. And because all they have is society's depiction of a man, then they don't understand the emotional side of things and how to even find an outlet for those emotions. So I'm glad that you spoke on that. Miss Vanessa, I've got a question for you, and that question is, can a woman raise a child, a boy, up to be a man? What say you?
I think it's a difficult situation where she's wearing the skirt and the pants at the same time, and knowing the guidelines of feeling what he's going to need to be a man, and then at the same time trying to give him the female aspect of what she wants to give him, because we are nurturers, okay? That babying that you call it, that's that nurturing part of us. That don't petting them and carrying on. That's nurture part. That's that love part. But in that toughness, when you fall, that get up, boy, you all right. Get up, you can do that. You don't know. You don't have to cry. At the same time, it's difficult. It's very difficult. But there are a few women that have pulled it off and pulled it off very well. I would advise it for a lot of women because it has gone the wrong way. It is meant for a man to nurture and bring up a man. Now, that's my feeling.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in a second, we're gonna go to commercial, but before we do, I want you to come back when we come back from commercial. Vanessa, I want you to elaborate a little bit on that because I think that's a fantastic talk right there when you start talking about a woman perspective as it pertains to that. And I want you to answer the question of what should should a woman step out and go find a man, and to help with her son, and I don't mean relationship or anything like that. I mean, should she go to church? Should she go? What should she do in a situation where she feels that she needs to have that man's perspective in her son's life? So we're gonna talk about that when we come back. Jerry, if you can take us out to a commercial break, I really appreciate it, sir.
Hi, this is Frank Simon. I have known Brother Mashorn Daniels for almost 25 years.
All right. So
he went with us
so you guys
and
know,
spoke
this is
of our
first
pro-America
sponsor
rallies
right
throughout
here.
the state. I'm proud to support him in.
Joe, I'm gonna bring you back in. Good job, man.
All right, thank you.
Just hold tight.
Thank you. Being a real man means that you take care of your business and stand up for what's just right, no matter.
It's interesting. Mishon is commenting on the page. He said, nope. A woman cannot.
All right, Joe, come on back though.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Man Up Radio Show. The topic of today is who's your daddy? So we're talking about father this morning, one of the 5 Man Up principles, and we want to elaborate a little bit more when it comes to women raising a male to be a man.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Before Vanessa gets into that again, I think she brought up a good point that a woman knows what to expect in a man and what she likes in a man, and she can train that son how to treat a woman, how to be a man, and treat a woman right. You know, and I think that if for finances, if a single woman didn't have to work jobs and to make ends meet and raise that man, I think she could do an excellent job by, letting you know what a woman expects in a man.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that is important because that is a perspective that doesn't always get had. Um, and if we all can make sure that when we're not talking, we hit the mute button, and just kind of make sure that as we are social distancing and not at the studio, that we keep our background noise to a minimum. Appreciate everyone. With that in mind, Brother Meshorn has chimed in from Facebook Live, and he's saying, hey, a woman cannot raise a male to be a man. Again, a woman can't be the daddy. Though I have other people saying, yes, a woman can raise a child to be a man. So, Miss Vanessa, we're going to jump back to you and talk about that. So go ahead and...
Oh, you got a phone call, please?
Oh, we do? Okay. Well, fantastic. Let's go ahead and take that phone call.
Yes, hello?
Hey, how you doing there? Welcome to the Man Up Radio Show.
This is wonderful. The last question you had, I know you was asking if a woman should go out and find a man and help her raise her man child. And I said, no. The word of God said, he who finds a wife findeth a good thing. And it's really, really dangerous for a woman to go on for a man, because in all actuality she's gonna make a big mistake. Hello?
We're here.
Hello? Okay. Hello. I was in the same situation. I had 4 biological sons, and my husband and I adopted 5 of the kids, which entails more sons, and altogether I was left with raising 7 sons. My husband passed 14 years ago. And, it's good to have a relationship with God in your life, because in all actuality, oh my goodness, I just leaned and relied on the word of God in raising these sons. Even though I didn't give birth to them, but the things I've gone through with them, I feel like I own the birth pains. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Absolutely.
But in all actuality, you guys have a relationship with God, and He will do you on what to do. Don't look for a man, women. Don't go out and try to find a man. Let God send you one, and if like He did for me, and let God send you one, and it will be the right decision. It will be the right decision. And last week you were talking about when God created woman, man is not going to really understand woman until he gets a relationship with God. The man does. Because when God created woman, man was sweet. So we got to just depend on the word of God in this relationship. God bless you, brothers, and you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thanks for calling in. So that was heavy right there. Just think about that. Those were not her kids, technically, but she was left in raising those men. And I think personally that, and I don't mean a woman going out to look for a man as far as relationship is concerned, but I believe that as far as help is concerned, given the man's perspective in raising a child, that, you know, maybe through a church organization, through I know I've been Big Brother through Big Brother Big Sisters. So you know, in coming in and helping a woman raise her son, then hey, I think it's a great. I think we should maybe seek out someone. Go ahead with the caller.
Yes, I'll just call it.
Welcome to the Man Up Radio Show.
Yes, it's just that you variety of topics which we're usually talking about. A woman can as a man to be a man, but certain parts of it changes at age. You see at 12, 15, that male is gonna change, and like I said, that needs a mentor, a male mentor, so he can see what a real man is about. So it might be an uncle, it might be a preacher, it might be a teacher or something like that. And that's what I'm talking about. It's just at certain ages, that person needs a mentor, a male mentor, and that's got to be the key. Because once the child gets to a certain age, that peer pressure changes that child. It might go left, might go right. So that child needs a male mentor. That's it.
All right, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that call. I think that is definitely important. I think that's definitely where my thinking is. You know, a man needs to see how a man operates on the daily. I think it's important. When I would meet with my when I was doing Big Brother Big Sister, I just tried to take the youngin and it wasn't just about taking him and playing games and playing basketball, which he loved to do, but it was about allowing him to see how I operate as a man. I brought him to the missus and everything. Looks like we got another caller, right? Is that another caller?
No, sir, she's not.
Okay. So, but I think that is important. Mr. Daniels, are you still on today?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
May I make a statement if you're finishing?
Go right ahead.
I guess I'm always going back to the differences in teaching. After we are so filled with the human wisdom in regards to handling them, and the spiritual essence of it is all weakened within us. I think if we look at the two extremes of fostering and nurturing, I think the man has more responsibilities in assisting and fostering and empowering and encouraging. And the woman has the power of feelings, and those emotions need to be adjusted. So they both are needed. And even in scripture, it says the two will become one. So a man's ability to also nurture and to encourage is almost the same as the woman if it becomes necessary. I think the true thing here is for us to start realizing the fact that we need to re-strengthen ourselves and give strength to that inner greatness within ourselves. Then the learning and caring becomes automatic for us because that was the essence of what the Creator placed within us, and to become one with that reasoning. Because when I say that I love my Creator, I'm really saying I love myself. And in doing that or saying that, then I begin to do those things that I should be doing in life. And I'm showing patience and kindness and goodness and gentleness and faithfulness to all And when those things that come that I know that I should not do, I have the power now, self-control, to say, no, it don't belong here. And once we can really put ourselves into those frames of thought, there will be no question in regards to what my responsibility in American situation should be, or in any situation should be. But as long as I'm weakened in it, then I take comfortable in it with me. As a result, all things begin to happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I absolutely agree, and I think that it's important to really think about that. I know right about now with this COVID-19, it's definitely difficult on all aspects. You know, you wanna you wanna stay away from any and everybody, so it's difficult to even talk about bringing a man to the table right about now. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a break. And when we come back, Vanessa is going to come back with Vanessa's Grapevine and give us the scoop right here on the Man Up Radio Show. Take us out, Mr. Jerry.
Hi, this is Frank Simon. I have known Brother Mashorn Daniels for almost 25 years. He went with us and spoke at several of our American rallies throughout the state. I'm proud to support him in his family and love of country and love of God program.
Yeah, you're loud.
I'm board certified internal medicine. So if you have
but you can be heard
or chest congestion or drainage or
I mean, that's a good thing.
Give me a call at 895-5088. That's 895-5088. Thank you.
Are we back on?
All right, we back with Man Up Radio Show and your host Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
All right, so we'll have Miss Vanessa do the Man Up Radio Show, Vanessa's Grapevine, and then after that we're gonna have a word from Brother A, who's reaching out to us from the Zoom world. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Good morning, all you wonderful people. COVID-19. Social distancing is not a punishment. Okay, you want to know that just because you don't have the virus does not mean that you are not an carrier of the disease. Protecting yourself, your family, and others by wearing a mask is the responsible thing to do. Heal, obey crowds, and close encounters with others also is responsible. Testing site, opening in the Highlands next week, making appointments, keeping it is important. When you make an appointment and you do not go, someone else could have had that time. Governor Beshear says that in Kentucky there is no decline in cases. So that means that social distancing and protecting yourself and others is still important. There is a hotline phone number, 1-800-722-5725. Any information you need in the Kentucky area, this is the number to call, 1-800-722-5725. On the positive side, some landlords have decreased or even waived rent to assist their tenants. And I want to say kudos to these folks. 5,100 folks to watch the Sunday night movie. Well, they're coming back. Channel 32 is bringing back the Sunday movie, and this week, Raiders of the Lost Ark. How about that? Thank you. You heard us on the grapevine.
All right. So thank you, Vanessa, for Vanessa's Grapevine. We appreciate that. Now with that in mind, We got Brother A who is reaching out to us from Zoom, and I'm gonna go ahead and let him say a little something. Go ahead, Brother A. You had a comment you wanted to focus on.
Going with the premise of being a father, DNA being a father is not you don't have to have your DNA to be a father, whatever. It's gotta change. Whether you have DNA in a child or not, you can still be a father. To me, you can still be a father. I wanted to make that comment. But another thing is when we're talking about how times have changed, the dating scene has changed as well. It's a whole different world for players now, because if you go to see a woman and you're not wearing a mask, chances are she's not going to pay too much of attention. So you got to come correct with your mask on now if you want to talk to a lady. It's unfortunate, but it's like that. You protect yourself, and you should do likewise. But even with a guy, if a girl doesn't have a mask on, chances are he may take his chances, but likely he won't if he values himself. So now you threw some type of, I guess, a hurdle in the game now. So the dating scene is pretty much put on slow. I ain't gonna say it's cut out, but it's put on slow right now.
Oh, well, I mean,
you gotta be up on your game.
Yeah, if you talk about COVID-19, man, the dating scene is absolutely changed. It is man, I don't even know what people. I mean, because I definitely think things are going to change after, even as we move forward. I believe that things are going to change most definitely. So I don't know. I can say this. I'm gonna give an admission here. I was married. I got married in 2001, and let's see, we got divorced in 2009. I met my wife on the computer in 1998, December of 1998. And we actually met face to face in, I believe, somewhere around February of 1999, and we got married in 2001, and in 2007 we had a set of beautiful twins, one boy, one girl. So I can say that from the perspective of meeting someone on the computer and such like that, as far as dating is concerned, then yes. Now, as far as that pertains to DNA and raising a child, definitely, you don't have to. I definitely believe that you do not have to be a biological father in order to help raise a child. Now, here's a question that comes out of that. What if the non-biological father is helping to raise a child and he's doing a fantastic job, but what happens if the biological father wants to come back on the scene? Maybe he's been missing in action for some years for whatever reason, but now he wants to come back on the scene. Is that okay? You've implanted all type of things into this male that you're raising, and you're the non-biological father. Is it okay for the biological father to come back on the scene and get involved? How does that work? Who wants to tackle that? It's a tough one there. Go ahead, Mr. Daniels.
Hello. I really think it's all dependent upon the teachings in the household would be. I don't think one should be isolated from if that's the case. But I think the choice depends on what stage of the kid might be at that particular point. A knowing of is important, because if the secondary person about the father that's now present is there, yes, he's going to share what needs to be shared. But I don't think the push would be closed on the fact that there is someone else. and the acceptance of that by him well, the Father now, will also be understood because there are no negatives in regards to feelings, at least it shouldn't be at this particular time. But the teaching, I think the kid is able to understand different.
Absolutely, and I think it takes a level of maturity in that respect. I know personally, I am the new man that my ex-wife has in her life. You know, he lives there at their home and things of that nature. He and I correspond with each other as it pertains to discipline with the kids. You know, I've even had to, or I've had the opportunity to give my input, even as it pertains, you know, to her maybe not wanting him to discipline the kids, her thinking that that is an issue. But I had a talk with her and him and said, I want him to, he's there in the home. Of course, I'm involved, but I give him all authority as I trust him as the man in that household. I give him all authority over my kids when it comes to discipline, just the same. I have no qualms about that. So I think that that is definitely something to think about.
Yeah, I feel that's true, you know, because the secretary dad to me was my coach. You know, he was just like a father, and as far as discipline and things that I should not be doing, should be doing, the manner in which it was expressed by him, you know, was well accepted. You know, and just to have that type of force in life, because you said we're going back to the concept of a village raising a child, that everybody in the village has some part of doing that.
Absolutely, absolutely. That goes back to the idea of a village raising a child. So that is absolutely great. So I want to switch gears just a little bit, and as we have delved into the father principle, you know, let's talk a little bit more about this COVID-19. This is the topic of the day. Miss Vanessa talked about social distancing and making sure that we are doing such. This week here in Louisville, Kentucky, we had a young lady who was arrested at the grocery store. Her mom ratted her out, and she was arrested at the grocery store because she was tested positive for COVID-19, and she was in the grocery store with no mask, no gloves, and no nothing out there shopping. And apparently, this was not her first time. Now, I can say that family reunions after this thing is over with are going to be strained right there since her mama turned her in. But you know, I think that that is a certain level of irresponsibility. You know, I will say this. You know, personally, I'm not you know, big on the belief of this whole thing. You know, I have my certain beliefs, but nonetheless, I'm social distancing. I'm wearing my mask. You know, I don't wear it while I'm driving down the street, but when I get out and go into a store or something like that, I throw my mask on. You know, but I think it's important for us to be responsible nonetheless. Bible does talk about making sure that we obey man's law, and I think it's important to make sure that we are doing that. Anybody else want to throw in some 2 cents on what's going on now with the COVID-19?
I think she did the right thing. She rather than I would have done the same thing. Right is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds bad when you say it like that, ratted him out or snitched even, but saying
that's culture.
Possibility of her giving that to other people is just crazy, and she knows that she. Oh my God!
Right?
Oh yeah, she had a court order to
That's horrible.
stay home in quarantine by court order, and apparently that was her third time out. And as they went back and looked on the camera, they talked about the number of people that either went to an aisle that she was in that may have touched items that she touched. It's very irresponsible right now. I don't care how much people like myself and others maybe are not in agreement with everything that's going on or belief in everything that's going on. We still need to be responsible and social distance. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anybody now, Mr. Daniels, where are you at? Are you in Louisville?
No, I'm in Atlanta.
Okay, so I've been hearing some things from the grapevine from Atlanta. What do you guys have going on in the news over there with COVID?
It's basically the same all around. We're being asked to wear the mask. Places, stores, and so forth are doing what they could be doing in order to keep people somewhat separate while they're inside. Stores for elderly have been open earlier than everybody else going in. So I don't think we've had any situation with people violating anything as of yet. But everything still boils down to what I believe, right? That if love is missing, then it can't be shared. And for an individual who has a problem, is going to take it out into society. There's no love for self, therefore there's no love for others. And I really think it's time for us to begin to, and this is what I've done for me, to allow the opportunity to strengthen that inner self, that inner person, and let that person become your outside person. And it's really not that difficult. It's just a change in your thinking. It's a change in your behavior to make you do the right things for yourself. And by being able to do it for others.
That's fantastic. And that's you talking about taking off a different type of mask. That's deep right there. Absolutely.
I'm taking off the human mask and putting on the true mask.
There you go.
The spiritual one.
There you go. My pastor, Pastor Keith, one of the things he always talked about, even when it comes to dating and stuff like that, he said, most of the time you meet the representative in the beginning. It takes you going through something for you to meet the real person. But in the beginning, you typically meeting the representative, the person that has their mask on. And then when y'all go through something, you see them with the mask off.
Okay.
That's interesting. So I tell you what, we're going to jump on a commercial break real quick. This will be our last commercial break of the show. And after that, we're going to come back and wrap up. And I think we got to make sure we out of here about 2 minutes early or whatever. Appreciate you, Jerry, taking us out to a commercial break. It's the Man Up Radio Show.
Everywhere I go, people wanna know. People wanna know who I am, where we come from. So I tell them, we are.
There you go. Now you're off mute.
And God hearing me.
I had it set up to where everybody is automatically muted when they come in. So you got to
right.
unmute yourself.
We strong. You're strong. Sound off. 1, 2. Sound off. 3, 4. Run it all down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Man up. Hi, this is Frank Simon. I have known Brother Michelle for almost 25 years.
Joe Adolph was on all the line. Okay.
Okay.
All right, hold time. This is the best show I've ever heard. Since y'all done it.
Family and love of country and God's program.
Appreciate it.
I'm board certified in internal medicine now.
Good job.
So if you have sinus congestion or chest infection, brain or headache,
so I want everybody to get some last words together. You know, you can spit on the topic of the day, or you know, give everybody a chance to do a last word.
Go ahead, Joe.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Joe.
Welcome back to the Man Up Radio Show. We are wrapping up here shortly. We got about another 10 minutes. And I want to give everybody a chance, as the host on the show here with me, to give a little wrap up for the show. I believe we have Brother A on the air with us right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Brother A, why don't you give us?
Hey, listen, man.
Why don't you give us some word for
Let
the
me
day?
say this, man. Well, the word today to me is that social media has changed the dating scene 1,000%. There used to be a time you had to go see it, get hooked up with your friends. Now you can get online or your phone, tablet, and meet people across the world. So it has changed 1,000%. But the real deal is that with this COVID-19, it's changed the game again. Man. Now it makes you want to be cautious who you talk to and where you go on both parties. Not just one party, but both parties. Got to look out for one another. So that's a very important factor when you think about when you want to date somebody, is you want to be safe.
Yeah,
I understand.
Because you don't know if somebody might just be trying to date you.
Now, introduction.
Somebody might just be trying to date you just to get your mask. You never know.
Good luck with that.
You wake up the next morning and your mask is gone.
Then the day goes. That's when the day goes wrong. Everything it goes downhill from there.
And I definitely believe that even as you're talking about social media changing the game, then even when it comes to just marriage, you know, social media, you know, the fact that people are having arguments in marriage over social media is just amazing to me, because, you know, you're talking 10 years ago, we weren't even really talking about this.
Absolutely.
That's
now thing relationship.
Go ahead, Vanessa.
That's the ball game. I tell you, social media dating and video chatting, and Lord, these young people, it's hard. It's hard because they're seeing all of this, reality TV, and thinking that that's the way to go. All these influences is coming from everywhere. I am just glad that I'm at the end of this journey. I ain't got to raise a child in this. It is horrible.
It is tough.
But Vanessa, you think marriage was hard?
Yes,
ahead,
it was. And it's even harder.
Right. No, marriage was without all easier. Social media makes it easier. I see it differently. It's easier to reach people. It's not hard. You ain't got to drive nowhere. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
but
you know, if you talk about meeting,
it's easier to reach out to people. It's easier to reach out to people because I think it's a bigger strain on marriage, because you got no privacy now. Everything's up in your face.
Right.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Well,
and I'll say this.
Well, are you?
Go ahead, Brother A.
Well, I was going to say, does a man or a woman have privacy in a marriage?
Yes.
I think so.
So are you allowed to keep secrets? Are you allowed to keep secrets in a marriage?
Yeah. I just need to know, baby. If she doesn't need to know, then she don't need to know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I agree with you, but it don't work in my house. My wife wants to know everything.
I mean, you're talking about infidelity and all that kind of, no.
I mean, that's a broad statement. You really talking broad when you say keep secrets.
Exactly.
Right.
True. I did. I got very broad.
You got to be a little more specific. even Joe got to be a little more specific when he says yes. It's okay. You got to be specific because it ain't every. Because then, as you see, the mind immediately goes to start thinking about infidelity and things of that nature.
Right. Now that's
you connect with somebody on social media and you hit it off all well and good, and then you decide you all want to get together and everything, and then here underlying the woman or the man has a medical condition that they decide not to tell you. Okay.
It's happened.
Yes.
There's been some murder cases out there where
you get on social media and then you see this woman with this beautiful face and this voluptuous body, and then all of a sudden you all hook up, get together. She done took her face off, and you look like, who is that?
And that's not exclusive to social media. That can happen in the grocery store. It can happen anywhere. It's not exclusive to social media.
This is true. But I'm saying if you're distant from the other and you're doing this over the phone, that's more probable to happen there than, you can go to and yeah, they be putting it out and taking it off. I'm telling you, Lord.
Vanessa, to your point, if a man travels or if a woman travels to another man's state or city and meet a person, and that person is not who they see on social media, that can be a problem.
Definitely.
That could be a problem.
True.
Well, there's been plenty of news
now, let me
reports.
say this.
And what's so horrible about that is that they have put themselves out to be truthful and to come some distance to see someone who they think is real.
And for that money, that's what hurts.
That's what I'm saying. Put yourself out.
Right. Now, we're talking about keep secrets, but not talking about infidelity, cheating, or anything. But there's some things that you just don't need to tell.
What would you say? Real quick.
I know from my experience, I have to keep certain things to myself. Like if I met somebody at work, a female or whatever, I used to, early in my marriage, I used to come home and talk about everything. But then later, that girl's name would come up in an argument, and it was nothing. It was totally innocent. You just meet somebody, or you're talking to somebody at work. So I learned that I don't bring all that stuff up. Only need to know.
Well, write that book. Make sure I get a copy.
I hope this podcast ain't heard by a certain person. I'm gonna close out.
Well, look.
I'd like to close out with this statement.
Well, look, we're getting ready to.
With love comes.
Go ahead, Mr. Daniels.
With love comes responsibility. We can do the things that are correct, even in our thinking. But we give it the responsibility that we're going to do those things that we know that we should do in the manner that it should be done. And therefore, some of the things that are coming up in the conversation based on the fact that many are not thinking in the right way. And as a result, the things that we should. But keep that in the focus and let it become our primary source in the business during these times and for the remainder of our life.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign out. I want y'all to tune in next week. We got me, Sean Daniels, coming back to host the Man Up Radio Show next week. So check us out. Then, if you get a chance, check us out on Facebook. Hashtag Man Up Radio, MUR. This is Man Up Radio with all our hosts signing out. I want everybody to say goodbye to the people out there. See y'all later.
Good night. Have a wonderful week. God bless. Don't forget your mother's next week.
See you later.
Thank you, Jerry.